What's going on, guys? BriarRabbit here. Normally I don't talk too much about the gameplay, but this gameplay here I thought was pretty good. It is a free-for-all that I joined pretty late. The leader of the game already has 16 kills. I'm using a weapon that I'm not too confident with. So normally this is kind of one of those write-offs, you know, you wait till the next game to start and then you try and start winning. This game, I started doing pretty well right at the beginning. I started catching up and I put on my try-hard pants and it became a real nail-biter. So check it out to the end. I think you guys will enjoy it. It's pretty exciting. I want to talk a little bit about Call of Duty. So normally, I play Call of Duty almost every day. Lately, I've been getting, we're getting married in, well, a week from today, we're literally getting married. So with all the planning and all that kind of stuff, I just haven't had time to start up my game system. You know, the last time I actually turned on my PlayStation 4 was last Sunday, the night of the Beastly Thought Show. We all, played a little Battlefield 4. I recorded. I actually put up a video of that gameplay. We're having a great time. To me, watching that video is almost like watching a home video. Just playing around with the guys. Beastly Gamer was hilarious. He kept saying, "I'm the Beastly Gamer. You can't shoot me." Stuff like that. I really enjoy hanging out with those guys. I thought that video was a ton of fun. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it too. But yeah, I just haven't had much time. So instead of pulling out my R5 or my MTAR or my Bison, those really try-hard classes, I decided, you know what, I'm just going to take it easy today. I'm going to pull out a bunch of weapons that are a little more low-key, like something like this TAR-21. Instead of putting all the pressure on myself by selecting like weapons that I just know I should be doing well with, the best weapons in the game, I started playing with the CBJ, the TAR-21, or TAR-12, I think this one's actually called. Stuff that I'm not used to. Stuff that's not the best stuff in the game. And to me, that kind of refreshes the game. It does two things, right? It takes a little bit of pressure off because you're not using top tier weapons, you don't really think that you should be doing very well, so it takes a little pressure off, right? If you happen to do well, great, you're ahead of the game. If not, then hey, I was using crappy weapons, don't feel bad about it. It also helps refresh the game. If you're always using the same weapons, if every time you play this map, you always pull out the R5, the game gets stale quick, You never change your strategy because you're always using the same weapon, you're always using it silenced, you're always using it with extended mags. The game just gets boring quick. If you're constantly changing up your weapons, if you're constantly changing up your classes, it adds a little bit of life to the game. So, that's my tip for the day, right? Is if you're getting a little bored of the game, try changing it up. Try using some of those weapons that you've never used before, you've only rarely used, or somebody told you it was awful, so you've never even bothered using it. Something like the CBJ. The CBJ was recently buffed. It's still not a great weapon. It's definitely not a top tier weapon, but it's kind of fun. The reload animation is pretty cool. It's definitely not a top tier weapon, but it's pretty fun to use. This TAR-21, or I keep calling it the TAR-21. I think it's really called the TAR-12. This gun is not good. It's really dependent on internet connection. A lot of times, you even see it in this gameplay. I feel like I shot a guy straight in the face. He knifes me right through it. Hey, that's part of this weapon. You really have to ADS with this gun. It's, I believe, the only shotgun where the bullet spread actually tightens up when you ADS. So you really have to ADS with this gun. It's a little more of a challenging shotgun to use than something like the Bulldog, which is a lot easier. You just spam the trigger. The Bulldog's a really easy gun to use. This one's a little harder. Using something that you're not really used to, though, it really changes up the game a little bit for you. So I've been having a lot of fun today just kind of doing that. Low stress, just having a good time, using weapons that weren't necessarily the best weapons in the game. And that's really something I recommend. If you're getting a little sick of the game, change it up a little bit. See what you can come up with. Play a different couple of game modes. Use weapons that you're not really used to. Try sniping. Try and get that ghillie suit. So even though I haven't been playing Call of Duty much, I have been thinking about it a lot lately. I've really been thinking about Advanced Warfare and the trailer we saw last week. I thought it was a really interesting trailer. Obviously there was no multiplayer in there. Hopefully there was some, information we can glean from watching that single player trailer, but really what we're waiting for at this point is the multiplayer trailer. That'll be the next big thing from Sledgehammer. And from what I saw in the single player, I gotta say, I'm not a single player, right? I don't enjoy the Call of Duty single player experience that much. I liked it in Call of Duty 2. I liked it in Call of Duty 4. Modern Warfare 2 was pretty good. But since then, I've never really enjoyed it. And even in Black Ops 2, I didn't even play it till November, and I still haven't played it for Ghosts. But what I'm really looking forward to is the multiplayer. It looks to me like Sledgehammer is really going to be able to freshen up, you know, the whole game, and hopefully that transfers over to multiplayer as well. So that's going to wrap this one up. Thanks very much for watching. Hopefully you liked the end of that video. I thought it was pretty exciting. Up on the screen, there are a couple of videos you may have missed. Check them out, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.